Hey, what is up guys? Guitar Rock here. Welcome back to another Brown Dust video. Alright, so if this is your first time here, welcome to my channel. Alright, so basically I'm gonna do like a rough guide. So what mercenaries you should be aiming for. Heroes that you obtain in this game is called mercenaries. They are not called heroes, so I'm going to address them as mercenaries throughout the entire video. So who should you focus on getting? Like every time when you reroll, obviously every time when you try to pull, when you go to the settings right here, you can actually just delete the account via that particular button right there. When you press delete account, you can create a new one with the same username, I believe, and you should be able to do it every, if I'm not mistaken, the timestamp is every 3 minutes. It's restricted to that amount of time, so you should be able to do quite a number of rerolls every single day. Now personally, I'm not a big fan of rerolling because when I first started the game, I didn't actually reroll. I didn't know if I was going to enjoy this game particularly back then. I was just playing the game, trying to learn the mechanics and things like that. Slowly, gradually, I started to enjoy it more. By that time, I've gotten quite a number of 5 stars and I don't feel like rerolling. Yeah, so I just stick with this account throughout. I've never rerolled, not even once. Got pretty lucky. I did obtain Lucius in this particular account here, and Sarah back then when she was firstly released and available. Okay, so let's head over to the book. I'm gonna like briefly explain to you what are the mercenaries that you should aim for when you're starting out to help you out on your quest, on your journey particularly. So keep in mind that there are no useless mercenaries. All mercenaries can be used at some point or some game modes in the game. Certain mercenaries are useful in co-op raids, for example. Some are used in world bosses. Some are mostly used for arenas, novice arenas, and there are some that are exclusively good in the evil castle or PvE. So there's no like one particular unit that's good in every single thing, you know. They all have their own strengths and weaknesses. That's something that you should keep in mind. So the legendary mercenaries, legendary units, you can obtain Lucius and Livia only from pulling, and the odds are very low. If I'm not mistaken, it's 0.1%. Alright, so Seto, Beliaf, and all the rest of the mercenaries, legendary mercenaries, can be obtained, can be purchased if you have enough ancient coins, with the exception of Celia, which you will need to fuse her. Okay, so what are the odds of you trying to reroll for Lucius or Livia? Like I mentioned, 0.1%. The rest of the legendary mercenaries can't be obtained from rolling. So only Lucius and Livia are obtainable from rerolling. So if you do obtain Lucius and if you do obtain Livia, consider yourself pretty lucky and you can consider keeping that account. But it's going to depend on what other combination of mercenaries you have currently. Lucius and Livia themselves will not give you much to be able to progress throughout the game. I highly recommend the best mercenary to have that you should reroll for is Sarah. It's actually a defender class, but because she has taunt, it's so useful. She can protect all your warriors regardless who you have on the battlefield. She would be able to divert the attack towards her with this taunt ability. So Sarah, if I'm not mistaken, is my third 5-star mercenary in the game, so I did get lucky by obtaining her, and throughout she has held up pretty well in all the game modes, I would say. PvE and the evil castle as well. She's definitely very useful in a lot of scenarios. Obviously, if you do have her, the priority is to get her to as much skill ups as possible. Mine is currently at +9. Obviously, I'm currently working towards a +10 Sarah. Definitely, if you have her, at least try to +3 her. You will need to use 5-star skill books. So yeah, she's the highly recommended mercenary that you should roll for. Now in terms of warriors, let's see. Alec, Angelica cannot be obtained. Seto cannot be rolled. You can only purchase them through ancient coins. Edin is a very unique one. You can't roll him. You can only obtain him from mileage. Now Victor, if you get him, definitely reroll. He's not that good. Ileana, she's alright, but I don't think she's something that you would want as your first mercenary. I would say reroll as well. Kena, Barbara, Dwen, Dalvi, Farrell. You can obtain Farrell, my bad. Kena, Barbara, Dwen, Dalvi, and Ventana. Definitely reroll. Foxy. Now Foxy and Sigmund, they are slightly different. I would say if you are a beginner and you have something like Sigmund, I guess Sigmund is more usable than Foxy in most cases because of his survivability. Foxy is definitely usable, but she will need high investment. Both of them will definitely need high investment, but in terms of usability at lower skill ups, I would say Sigmund is much more usable than Foxy due to his survivability. Foxy will definitely struggle due to her low HP and things like that. Now Christina, Jean, Rogan, those are, you know, if you do obtain them, I would suggest you to reroll as well. Those are skippable. And we have Elijah and Gunter. So I'll be focusing on 5 stars mostly, because that's what you want to reroll for. 4 stars are easily obtainable in the game. I will do a guide on the best 4 stars in another video. So yeah, the only warriors that if you actually got lucky in reroll and I would recommend keeping might be Sigmund. The rest is just meh. I mean, most of them are, some of them are very good, like Jin, Christina, Foxy, Dwen is pretty good, Eliana is pretty good, but you need a lot of investment in them. So these are not something like a starter unit. I wouldn't categorize them as the best starter units, but definitely comparing all the warriors that's on the list right here, I would say Sigmund is probably the best starter unit right here for warriors. But he's nowhere close to Ser. Like if you get Ser, that should be a priority. Try to get Ser, try to reroll for Ser. So in terms of defender, we have Aaron, Bane, Cowley, Zenith, Ser, Cecilia, Gloria, Arkan, Glacia, Vermont, Ymir. Astrid cannot be obtained, you need to Merc Fusion her, Rafina, Diomeron. Alright, so the only one that's worth rerolling for would be Ser, Cecilia, and Zenith. Obviously Ser is like the top there. Zenith, depending, she's useful in a lot of strats. Definitely you can make a decently strong arena team with Zenith. But in terms of PvE, Ser is like the queen right here. No one matches even close. Cecilia is good in a lot of game modes. I find her useful in co-op raids. Too bad she's not usable in World Boss. But yeah, she's particularly good in certain game modes except for the arena, which is too bad. Alright, in terms of Magician, the only one that you should aim for rerolling would be I. Like I is arguably the best magicians out there. Most magicians are kind of bad because of the ability, the need to charge up and things like that. Velter, very good as well. I would rate Velter as the second one after I. That's because as a new player, your focus would be more of the PvE side of things, and Velter is more on the PvP side of things. In terms of range, you can see I hits much more enemies in PvE than Velter, which gives I the advantage of the range advantage, and she has the attack interference of morphing opponents into monkeys. How would you not like that? Alright, so Magician, I would highly rate I as the first one, and Velter, and probably Lillian, Alice, and Claudia as the third one if you do obtain them. Alright, moving on to supporters. Now supporters, I wouldn't focus too much on rerolling them because you can actually make do with just 4-star supporters. I've been using 4-star supporters for a couple of months now, and I'm doing fine in the arena as well, so there's no need to rush in having a strong supporter in your team. You want a defender, a warrior, and then depending on what's your team composition for the rest of the arena setups, you might need magicians, and then supporter will slowly kick in. You can use 4 stars, you can use some 3 stars even, and yeah, there are plenty of 3 stars that are usable even in the regular arenas, so you don't have to worry too much about supporters. Yeah, none of these are like worth rerolling for. You can have supporter later on at the game. Some of the strongest like team composition out there actually consists of supporters. Grandex, probably you have heard of that term before. Basically it's just Grand Hill there, which is this person right here, this girl, and surround her with reduces incoming damage of supporters, and she would be like extremely hard to kill. So yeah, I still stand by what I said. Definitely go for Ser, And if you're looking for a combination of two mercenaries, you can either go for Seer plus Sigmund, Seer plus I, or Seer plus Foxy. I think those could definitely work. But in terms of the highest priority, if you could choose like one unit as a beginner to start out in the game, the only unit that you should pick is Seer, no one else. I mean, if you get Lucius, which is this guy, which is a legendary, I guess you could consider keeping the account, but he won't be much help until you have another decent taunter, like in terms of defenders or some good warriors in your team. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you do, make sure to subscribe to the channel, give this video a like. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments below. I might have missed some important points here and there. Feel free to correct me if you think that I'm wrong. As always, I will see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.